Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello. So today I will gonna talk about drugs and especially why teenagers try drugs. So I think before I start talking about that topic today, so let me introduce myself and let me introduce who I am first. So my name is Rizky Nur Hidayah. I'm from class R002. I'm a student in English Department, Universitas Jambi, and I'm on semester 3. So my topic is about the reason why teenagers try drugs. I think it's gonna be old problem that happened till today, and it's gonna be big problem for parents and children. So before we start talking about the reason why teenagers try drugs, let we know about drug first. So what is drugs? Maybe you know about definition of drugs. So drugs is all substance that make dangerous and make harmful to your body, and that is true about drugs in substances that are dangerous. So let we see about definition of drugs. So drugs are substances that change a person's mental or physical state. They can affect the way your brain works, how you feel and behave, your understanding and your sense. This makes them unpredictable and dangerous, especially for young people. Because of that, I'm going to choose topic about why teenagers try drugs. Next, there are two kinds of drugs. For your information, there are two kinds of drugs. There are, namely, is legal drugs and illegal drugs. So maybe you're asking to me about why there are two kinds of drugs. Is that everything drugs, every kind of drug is illegal? So according to my research in internet, I found that two kinds of drugs. There are legal drugs and illegal drugs. So we're gonna talk about legal drugs first. So I think you all know about the example of legal drugs. There are alcohol. You see alcohol every day. Maybe you see alcohol in YouTube, and you can see nicotine on smoke. You can meet people who smoke every day, and we can see people who drinking a coffee. So coffee, it's content of caffeine. So why I can say caffeine is a drugs? Because the caffeine is make effect to our body and our brain. So that makes me conclude about caffeine is a kind of legal drugs. So different of legal drugs and illegal drugs. Legal drugs is substances that government don't ban that, and meanwhile the illegal drugs is that a substance that banned from government. So what about illegal drugs? The example of illegal drugs is an ecstasy, marijuana, or cannabis and heroin. So I can say that substance is very dangerous and very harmful for your body, and we're gonna talk about what's the problem. So all of these substances, whether legal or illegal, can become dangerous if misused. And maybe I can say everything in the world, it can become dangerous if misused. So that's quotes from me today. I think that's the problem. And next is Back again to our topic today about why teenagers try drugs. There are some reasons why teenagers try drugs. We can say, we can make, for example, stress, peer pressure, and misinformation, and easy access. So we're gonna talk four aspects today about the reason why teenagers try drugs. So let me start with stress and depression. So most teenagers are attracted to using drugs because they have too much trouble, like personal problem, family problem, or it could be a problem at school. So they are looking for an escape and want to let go of the burden. I think using drugs to escape is a very unreasonable excuse because it doesn't solve the problem, it adds the problem. And the next reason is about misinformation. So according to recent research, 73% of teens report the number of reasons for using drugs is to deal with the pressure and stress of school. And surprisingly, only 7% of parents believe that teens might using drugs to cope with stress. The rest believe that teenagers use drugs simply to look cool in the crowd. So the parents thinking about the children try to use drugs, it's because they try to look cool in the crowd. So it's showing the parents severely underestimate the impact of stress on their teens' decisions to use drugs. And it appears that parents and teachers often don't think that teenagers can be stressed enough to be prompted to take drugs. However, research has proven otherwise. To self-medicating themselves from stress, teenagers didn't thinking like adults in general. They could not tell what was right and what was wrong. So teenagers often don't understand how dangerous drugs can be. So I think this misinformation leads to an increase in the likelihood of teenagers try harmful substances. And the next is about peer pressure. So peer influence is more known than stress as cause of teenagers taking drugs. Peer influence can have a high impact on decisions they make. Friends play an important role in how children make decisions. When children hang out with other children who do certain things, the tendency for children to join increases. A study conducted by Columbia University found that a child will try drink alcohol beverage if they have friends who drink too. So the next factor is about easy access. In America, marijuana and other drugs becomes more accessible. Teenagers can get higher level of these substances, so they can easily get these substances to medicate themselves, especially and for other reason. And then teens was easy to try drugs. I think government must create a new rules, and then government can solve the problem of the reason why teenagers try drugs. The last, we can see teens and drugs are closely related due to several factors: stress, peer pressure, misinformation, and the last is easy access. So I think the only thing we can do is is to properly educate younger people about the risk of drugs, and ask parents to open up to the children, and also the children must be open up to their parents, so that the unwanted things doesn't happen. I think that's all for me. My name is Rizky Nur Hidayah. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.